The National Park Service spends a lot of money putting up signs and teaching visitors you do not feed the animals. If you do, it makes them dependent and they get mean when you cut them off. Evidently, these departments don't talk to each other much because right down the hallway, you got the people in the welfare department that have been throwing food at their pets for a long time. Now, all of a sudden, Trump has cut them off. That gives Democrats an opportunity that they are seizing on. Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of What You Don't Say. I'm the host, Fred Lynn, and I've got another one for you that they're not talking about. It's been about 6 weeks now that I posted different videos warning about this food war that's growing. The Democrats, everyone knows they have nothing right now. They don't have any good policy stuff, so they're looking for something. They got the midterms coming. Everybody knows it. Nobody's more aware of it than they are. Everything they've done has pretty much stunk it up, so they've had to go away. But they've tested a lot of things. They tested the raiding the ICE facilities. They tested the drone invasion. My gosh, Trump can't keep America safe. Tariff inflation. Everything they've tried has fallen apart on them, right? But they've got one now that people will sink their teeth into because it hits them on a personal level. And this is something they can get passionate about because Trump has decided to stop feeding the bears. Evidently, he's taking the National Park Service signs to heart. They've cut the EBT and SNAP programs. This is, I guess it's the same thing they used to call the food stamp. Anyway, it's free food, socialized food. A lot of people are really mad about it, but the big cuts don't kick in until September 1st. So we're not seeing a lot of that anger yet, but the Democrats are way ahead of it. What they've done is they put together a national network that is tied to the globalist network for food rights. And they've been having protests like the No Kings protest. They go out in those crowds and they recruit. And they take the people that they've recruited and they've been putting them in training sessions. And it's all about the food thing. I don't know why right-wing media is not covering this. Democrats are being kind of sly about it, but it's not hidden. In some areas of the country, they're already test marketing it. Up in Milwaukee, they had 6 grocery stores closed because they're in the black high crime neighborhoods. They're getting robbed so bad. People are getting robbed in the parking lot. The customers, the employees and customers are not safe in the stores. There's so much stuff stolen from the stores that the pick and save corporations have decided to close 6 of the locations. All of a sudden, this is a human rights issue up there in Milwaukee. This is where they're test driving it. What Democrats are claiming and what they're teaching the public to think is that it's a human rights issue. They've got a right to have a grocery store within a 2-minute walk from their house. And if they can't have a store in their neighborhood, it's because the evil capitalist white men have taken it away from them. But they say it is capitalism that is destroying food opportunities. It's creating food deserts. This is what they're teaching. Milwaukee is the testing ground, and believe me, it is working. Those people are getting on board. They haven't even got their food stamps cut yet, and they're already getting on board with it because they just don't have a store close enough with enough free food in it. They're mad because they have to drive another 5 minutes. Seriously. They have to drive another 5 minutes to get free food. And they're already mad. What happens when the food isn't free anymore? That's what the Democrats are preparing for. They are way ahead of the curve on this. These people are evil, but they know what they're doing. They can organize, they can plan, and Trump has taken the food away from the bears. The bears are going to get mad. They've got this whole game set up. They've got the personnel in place. They're working out the bugs from their sales pitch. The picture you see right here. This is a girl that is a local leader in Milwaukee, and you can bet they got to her when she was in college. She might still be in college for all I know. But Miss Jessica Thompson, they actually gave her a title, Milwaukee Food Council Community Engagement Manager. Come on, that sounds like an official position. There's no such job like that in the city government, okay? But this is what they do to give it an air of credibility so that when they put this on the news, they've got a title. As a matter of fact, she's getting so good at her act that she doesn't use the nose ring anymore. I guess they decided that wasn't going to sell very well. So in her early work, she always had the nose ring in. Now she doesn't. But this is what they do. That's the kind of person that they recruit in those crowds. They get them, and the old fanny pack old ladies, the old hippie ladies, this is what they do. They test it in a small area. When they get it dialed in, they start getting some reaction. They're getting the results they want. They take it national. That's what they're doing right now. The national organization is preparing coast to coast because they're already training their teams in local areas. I'm going to show a few examples while we're talking about this. And all of these are programs that are already involved with the food desert problem. Food is a human right. That's what they're claiming. That's what they're going to go after Republicans with for the midterm 26 election. That's going to be one of their top issues because by then there's going to be a lot of these people who lost all their 8 free shopping carts of food a month. They lost all that. It's going to be hitting home with them very soon. And those people will get mad. They will react. They will take action. They will be inspired to go out in the streets when the Democrats come back at them with the program that they're preparing right now. Democrats are good at this. They're evil, but I tell you what, they are masters at organization. They are masters at finding their people and putting them to work. That's one of the reasons they infiltrated the colleges. That's where the idealists are. That's where the young, ambitious people are. The people who want to save the world. They mean well. They get to them and they screw up their heads when they're young. That's one of the reasons they took over the education system outside of dumbing everybody down. But they're using these armies right now. They're training them. They're getting them ready. It's building up and it's being ignored. But cutting the EBT program or SNAP program, that is something that these people can relate to on a personal level. George Washington said it best. Patriotism alone is not enough to inspire action of the masses. First, the pain must become personal. Democrats are focusing on the second half of that. First, the pain must become personal. They have got their personal pain. I've always been amused by the fact that they talk about America's poor, and most of those women weigh over 200 pounds. Some of them can't even fit their lazy boys anymore. I mean, we've got the fattest poor people on the planet. Those days are over. This is hitting them personally. The Democrats know it. They're riling up the kids. Wait until you see how far along this really is, because when it comes out, it's going to be national. They're building it up right out in the open right now. Everybody in right-wing media continues to ignore it. I've been talking about it for 6 weeks. It's been obvious for that long, and it's still being ignored. As soon as right-wing media start talking about it, people are going to come out and say, oh, gee, we didn't see this coming. Well, you should have, except they didn't tell you. As I said, I've been talking about this for a while, about 6 weeks now. And I haven't been on this platform much longer than that. This is a fairly new YouTube channel. We're still figuring out the ropes, dialing in, getting the bugs out of the system. But we need you to like, subscribe, send us a comment if there's something you want covered. Get a hold of us. We reply to everything. But we need your help to grow the channel. Liking, subscribing, commenting. That's the most you can do for us if you want us to keep bringing you this kind of information. Because I promise, everything we've done, everything we're going to do, it's all focused on what they don't say, what you don't hear in the media, the things that the people need to know. All of it is documented fact. There's no guesses. It's all documented. We offer the proof. Please like, subscribe, send us a comment, and continue to tune in. Thanks. By midterms, this is going to be big. There's going to be protests in the street because what they want to do, what they are telling their people, is that food is a basic human right. Capitalism and the food chain is what is starving people. People aren't hungry because of any fault of their own. It's because capitalism is pricing the black people out of food. It's pricing the poor people out of food. The people that don't want to work, they don't get to eat because of capitalism. If we had socialism and we acknowledge that food is a basic human right, everyone would have food. Everyone that needs it would be able to get what they want. The problem with this, food is not a basic human right. The ability to work and prosper and purchase your own food, that's the freedom that is a basic human right. The opportunity. You had the basic human right for opportunity. The results of that opportunity are not a basic human right. Part of what they're going to do, since they can't have their food, they're going to try to show everyone else what it's like. They're going to disrupt everything in the food supply as much as they can. They're going to be protesting at these grocery stores. They're going to make people uncomfortable going to grocery stores. Think about it. This is how they operate. They're going to have their protests. They're going to have their signs. They're going to be lining the driveways when the stores won't let them in. But there's a lot of grocery store food chains that are pretty socialist. There's a lot of woke culture in that industry. So how are they going to react when the Democrats want to start protesting at their doors? They can push them out to the public ground along the roads, but they're going to make people awful uncomfortable coming in and out of these stores. Right now, this is the only thing they have for midterms in 26 that will touch a lot of their people and inspire them, because they fed the animals and the food is being taken away and they start misbehaving just like they do in the national parks when you take the food away from the bears. You don't do that without repercussions. This is going to be big. If you're still paying attention, if you're still watching this video, then you're one that's not going to be surprised. You're going to be way ahead on it. I've got a couple other videos that I already did. You can go back to my list and see them for yourself. It's all about the food wars, folks. That's what's coming. Socialism is not going away. They have to change their structure once in a while. Remember, it's a war. When they lose on one thing, that doesn't matter. That's a battle. You can keep losing battles and still win the war. These people are not giving up. Trump is temporary. Everything good that's happened has been because of Trump. It's not because of the Republicans. They were forced to adopt some Trump policies. Some of them they were dragged kicking and screaming to. But everything good that's been happening is because of Trump. Democrats know he's going to be out soon. He's temporary. 4 years goes by quick. Just like that. Look at the last one. Boom, gone. 4 years of Biden already gone. 4 years of Trump is going to be gone soon. A lot can happen, but the Democrats know that they can defeat the Republican Party without Trump in the way. They've already done it on every level. That's why the EBT program was so big in the first place. No one was watching. That's why Doge found so much money. Nobody was watching. The Democrats know they can get away with whatever they want with Republicans. They just got to drag it out. But they need something to fight about. In 26, they need people in the streets. What better way to do it than focus on the food that the mean white guy in the White House is taking away from everybody? With all the MAGA people, all of Trump's rich friends that are getting fat on the food that they're stealing from the poor people. It's coming, my friends. Get ready. We got to get this right. And if we do, maybe God will continue to bless this great country of ours. Thanks for listening.